If you don't know how to use EQ the right way, then your EQs are going to be lying to you. They're not going to be telling you the full truth. And so in this video, I want to break down exactly how to use EQ in a way that actually tells you the truth of what you need to hear. And ignore my drywall over there on the wall, okay? I'm building something. So let me give you some context on what I'm working with. I'm working on this song, and I felt like the guitars needed a bit more note definition. I turned the guitars up, and I felt like they were too loud, but as I kind of tucked them into the mix where I wanted them to, I still wasn't happy with the lack of clarity I was getting from that note definition on the guitars. I just wanted a bit more. So I decided EQ would probably be the best route. Now, what most people would do is they would solo this, and then they start EQing, but that's gonna be a bit of a problem. Let me give you some context on what we're listening for, and then I'll show you what I did instead. And then I had a breakdown here where the guitars are a bit louder, but still lacking some of that note definition. But let's see what we actually can do to get some more note definition out of these guitars and get our EQs to actually tell us the truth. What most people would do is they would immediately grab a plugin and they would solo the guitars, and then they would open up the EQ plugin and make some differences. So let's do that. It's not necessarily what I recommend, but let me show you why it's a problem. So let's start making some adjustments. So tell me, is this better, off, or on? You probably don't know. And to be honest, neither do I, because our EQ is not telling us the full truth. Just like in a court of law, you need the full evidence to be able to get the full truth out of somebody. You need the full context to get the full truth out of the EQ. So let me turn this EQ off, and I'll show you what I adjusted in context. It sounds a bit honkier, and you wouldn't expect that to work. And you might not make this kind of EQ decision while you're in the mixing process if you were soloing. But in the context of the mix, it fixed everything. I'm going to turn this off and on again in the context of the mix and listen to the note definition of the guitars and how it pops out at you. You can actually hear what the actual note is playing on this super distorted guitar. It starts to pop out a lot more at you. Now let's take a look here during the breakdown as well. This is a EQ move that most people wouldn't make in solo because it makes the guitar sound a bit honkier. And it's something that I wouldn't even do in solo, even though I've been doing this for the last 15 years. But because we got context and we're starting to use EQ in the context of the whole mix, because shocker, no one's going to be listening to your music in a solo, they're going to be listening to your music as a whole, then that's where we want to be able to use the majority of these tools. Of course, there's always caveats. If you're trying to fix something or you hear some low rumble or something, or you're trying to get something specific, you can obviously solo to find problems. But you should be hearing those problems in the context of the mix and then going and using the solo button to search. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this one. And I have something special for you in the description below. Only a handful of people are going to get it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can go look for it for yourself. And if you missed out on it, sorry, you got to be subscribed and ring that bell so that way you can be notified when other stuff happens like this as well. All right. Peace out. See you in the next video. You're going to love it. It's over here. Bye.